I've been doing quite a few videos about converting Rollmaster RPG's spell laws into usable magic spells. It is my opinion that we can use pop culture items in witchcraft. Now, I am different from most people. There are a lot of people that classify paganism and witchcraft as one and the same. So these people believe that paganism is very magical and very spiritual. I, however, have a strong conviction that paganism and magic are two separate entities. Paganism is purely spiritual, and witchcraft is a collection of magical skills. I say this because you can be of other religions and be a magic user. So there must be a degree of separation. I have made many videos showing myself to be a Celtic Reconstructionist. That means that I try to follow as close as possible the ways of the Celtic people. I try to follow their traditions and their outlook on life. So I try to keep foreign concepts, such as Buddhism, out of my Celtic point of view. Witchcraft is completely different because it is a skill. It is not dependent on a certain time period. There can be adaptations and modernizations to the skills. The other thing that somebody has to consider is that magic is a visualization unique to each and every person. It is like making a sigil. There are different ways to make the same desired result, and witchcraft is about achieving that desired change. So it is how we achieve it and the end result that matters. So if you can connect a pop culture in certain aspects, then you can use it to achieve your magical goals. And so that is what I'm doing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Each card represents a concept of various forms, and how we view each and every card is going to be different from one person to another. So the possibilities on using them in our magical path is basically unlimited. Now, in the previous video, I had talked about creating servitors or herbivores with Yu-Gi-Oh card visualizations. We can, however, also create spell cards, incantations, inspirations with these cards. We have to remember that this is not Harry Potter, so we might as well forget about shooting magical energy bolts at a target. And it does not even have to be a spell or trap card from the game to build a spell card. A classic card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the Old Vindictive Magician. I like the artwork on this card, so it makes the visualization of this spell much easier. So then we would need to create a chant or incantation to go with this card. So here is my idea. Old vindictive witch, old vindictive bitch. What you send to me, I send back to thee. This would be an easy chant to repeat. So you can repeat it 4 or 5 times as you are visualizing what you want done to the recipient. You would not have to create a fancy ritual. You would only have to select your target and then do the incantation. Slam the card on the table and end it with "so mote it be," thus adding the ability to be flexible and more availability in your magical path. Some of the cards that I'm thinking about using are like Swords of Revealing Light. Now this card in the game prevents your opponent from acting for 3 turns. So an application could be an action to prevent the target from acting against you. So I think that has potential. Non-spellcasting area. Well, just as the name suggests, how beneficial would it be to remove the energy or the ability to cast spells at certain locations? So if you knew of a coven that was going to do something that you disagreed with, you can use this to block them. 3 is Jar of Greed. You can make somebody extremely guilty and destroy them that way. Maybe they would lose their friends or their job. Number 4, Magic Drain. With this card, you can make it more taxing for your target to cast spells, thus making it harder for them to act against you. Well, just simply visualize, that person, every time that they try to cast a spell, they have to put more effort into it. And if you make it harder for them, then they are not going to act against you so much. Number 5 is Magical Hats. Now, in the game, this is a decoy card. And why not in real life? With this card of decoys, you create a magical decoy of yourself. So any negative magical energy sent against you would go towards the decoy, thus protecting you. Divine Wrath. Now, this was a wicked little card. And so if you are working with gods or goddesses, this could be a chant where you asked them to go after a specific target, have the gods act directly against a person. Astral Barrier. As I look at it, this could be used to prevent somebody from astral travel or astral projection. Could you imagine? I think the effects would be awesome if you could do an astral barrier around a house, so that nobody inside the house could use their astral projection, astral travel abilities to leave the house. They would be stuck in that house like in a bubble. I think that would be a unique application. And those are the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I'm going to be using. There are a couple of websites that allow you to make fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards, as I mentioned in a previous video. So if you understand and want to work with spell cards, you can make a custom spell card or monster card and then apply them to your practice. So you can take an image of a fictional character that you admired. Let's use Robin Hood as an example. I can add that picture of Robin Hood to the website, then I can, in a brief description of the character, and then print it off. This could be used to create the servitor that we have talked about in a previous video. Or you could take an image of a sigil and place it on the card, then create the desired results in the space and print it off. In doing so, you are going to be visualizing and building your intent of this spell. And thus you can make this into a powerful tool in witchcraft. You can literally take any sigil that you want, apply it to the website, and then in that box underneath, put your intent on there. You don't have to put the incantation, put the intent on there. And I think that would be very powerful. Because as I've said it so many times, magic is fickle. So if you do not talk about your true intent, your spell can go awry, can go veer off course, and you might get a perverted result, something that you weren't wanting completely. But by doing this, by writing your intent right below that sigil on that card, you can help make your intent crystal clear. So what do you think of my ideas? I would really like to know what you think about using some of these pop culture items in witchcraft. So please leave your comments below, and everybody, take care, be at peace.